Hi dear children, let's have a discussion on the poem How to Tell Wild Animals, written by Caroline Wells. Caroline Wells is an American female poet, lived in the period 1862 to 1942. Here, the poem How to Tell Wild Animals, the word tell means to recognize. How to recognize wild animals. See, the poem is written in a rhyme scheme A, B, A, B, C, C. And usually, how do we recognize wild animals? Observing the physical feature of the wild animals, we recognize most of the wild animals. But here, the poet is describing some funny ways to recognize wild animals. The poet is telling after having an encounter with the wild animals, we can easily recognize which animal was that. So isn't it funny? So the poet is a poet has uh, adopted some funny ways to describe ways to identify wild animals. See, the poem is written in this rhyme scheme, and also the poem has a strong and regular rhythm if you read it like that way. See the first stanza. If ever you should go by chance to jungles in the east, and if there should to you advance a large and tawny beast, if he roars at you as you are dying, you will know it is the Asian lion. So the poet is describing the way to recognize an Asian lion. Poet is see, if we get a chance to go to the jungle in the east, and there, if you have a chance to advance towards a large and tawny beast, and if it roars at you and jumps at you, and you will you roar as if you are dying in fear, then you will know that it is an Asian lion. See, the poet has used the word dying. See the second last line of the stanza, D-Y-I-N, dying instead of dying. Spelling is G is cut off. So that poetic technique is known as poetic license. The poet has used the poetic device, poetic license there, that he has changed the poet has changed the spelling of the word. That is the use of poetic device, poetic license. The second stanza, or if sometime when roaming round, a noble wild beast greets you with black stripes on a yellow ground, just notice if he eats you. The simple rule may help you learn the Bengal tiger to discern. See, in the second stanza, the poet is describing a different way to identify a Bengal tiger. When you are roaming round, a noble and wild beast greets you, and that beast has black stripes on an yellow background. Just notice whether it eats you. If it eats you, that is a simple rule to identify it is a Bengal tiger. If the tiger eats you, if the animal eats you, that is the way. After that, it is a very simple way to identify a Bengal tiger. See the words there. Yellow ground. Yellow ground here means background. The poet has used only ground instead of background. And discern. The Bengal tiger to discern. Discern means to recognize or to identify. So the third stanza, if strolling forth a beast you view, whose hide with spots is peppered, as soon as he has leapt on you, you will know it is the leopard. It will do no good to roar with pain. He will only leap and leap again. See, while strolling forth means while moving slowly through the forest, a beast, if a beast comes in your view with with the skin of spots on it, with a spotted skin. Hide here means the skin of the animal skin, with the spotted skin, and as soon as it sees you, it leaps on you. Then you will know that it is a leopard. And the poet is again telling humorously that there is no use of roaring loud and with pain loudly, because that will that will do no good to you, and he will only leap and leap at you. Here also, see, the poet is using leapt, the word leapt, instead of this spelling leapt, the second form of verb leap, leap, leapt or leaped. The poet is using, the poet has used lept instead of leapt. That is also the use of poetic license. And see, it will do no good to roar. It will, instead of it, the poet has used t, that is poetic license, that is also poetic license. And see the last line, he will only leap and leap again. Leap and leap again is the correct word. He has used lep, leap, 2 times. That is also the use of poetic device, the literary device, the poetic license. Okay. Then fourth stanza, if when you are walking round your yard, you meet a creature there who hugs you very, very hard, be sure it's a bear. If you have any doubts, I guess he'll give you just one more kiss. Then when you are walking around your yard and you meet a creature there, then that creature hugs you very, very tight, then you will recognize, you will be pretty sure that it is a bear. And if you have any doubt, stay there for a few moments, and it will give you one more caress. One more caress, just one more caress. What is the meaning of the word caress? Caress means soft, gentle touch, and here means one more hug. And you will surely you will recognize that as a bear. Okay, here we have discussed 4 stanzas of the poem. There are 2 more stanzas that we will discuss in our next class, and also we will discuss detail about the poetic devices also. Here, if you go back to the first stanza, the third line, and if there should you to advance, if there should you to advance, the words in the sentence is changed, interchanged here and there. It is not in the proper order. That is also another poetic device. That is also the use of another poetic device, that is inversion. That is inversion. Using a changed word order in a sentence, that is inversion. Then second stanza, see second stanza, a second line, a noble wild beast greets you. A noble wild beast greets you. Noble and wild, that 2 words are of opposite sense. Noble and wild can never be together. So that 2 words are of opposite sense, and that is another. The poet has used humor in a different way, a black humor. The poet has used black humor there. So read the poem and enjoy the poem, and try to understand how humorously the poet is describing the ways to recognize different wild animals like Asian lion, Bengal tiger, leopard, bear. And also in the following stanzas, he's going to tell how to recognize a crocodile, a hyena, and even a chameleon. So let's stop here. Let's meet in the next class. Do your activities and homeworks. Read the poem many times. Thank you.